Right. Hello, team. I'm Alex Fracas from the Plan Knowledge team. And today I want to talk about how we're making GLQL views accessible to everyone. Think of a GLQL view like a smart filter. You can embed anywhere in issues, wiki, epics. But unlike regular filters, this auto updates with live data. It's like having a mini dashboard, whatever you need it. So here's what creating a GLQL view looks like today. On the left side, it's a syntax, and the right side is that output of that syntax. On the syntax, see these two parts. The actual GLQL query is just this one line at the bottom. It filters for my open issues, but to create this nice table, users need to write all this YAML code, display settings, switch fields, show titles. It's not just learning queries. It's also how we are losing people here. And GLQL views are incredibly powerful, but few people use them. So, quick question: how many of you knew GLQL view existed before today? We are currently having a growth problem with low awareness and high complexity. Even with a 20% internal adoption, GitLab employees who found GLQL views valuable enough to use despite the complexity, most users don't know they exist. They don't realize they can create these powerful cross-project views. And when they do find it, they see this wall of code. It's not just the query, it's the entire view setup. Non-technical users take one look at this and close the tab. They go back to spreadsheets or asking developers for help. And every week, someone posts, can you help me to update this GLQL view in Slack? So this matter because GLQL views are the only way to embed live cross-project data tables. No other GitLab feature does this. And we are investing 2 to 3 milestones to improve the backend. Leadership wants to see growth, and key customers are interested. But if people can use it, we won't see returns. Our user needs to manage work across multiple projects. They want custom data views without asking for help. How can we help them discover GLQL view and remove the technical complex? And here's what we are currently working on. Just hold on for the, for the type to load. This is still work in progress. We had explored multiple solutions before this, and here's where we land so far. We're still exploring how can we surface GLQL view when regular filters aren't enough. For now, we are using the editors to drive discoverability. Using this popover will display only once. And when users click on GLQL view, we add a smart default template, and that gives instant value. We automatically gather data and filter data based on the current user context in GitLab. And if users want to customize the GLQL view, we have this open editor here, um, where there will be more filters controls and more real estate available to preview. For custom needs, we progressively disclose more complex filters with adding more filters button. And in the future, we can add more here. We like saving this view and create your own template to reuse after. So my question is, what is the right trigger for suggesting GLQL views? Filter complexity, cross-project needs, or saved search attempts? And how do we balance showing the code for learning versus high complexity? What makes you share a GLQL view with your team? And what do you think community templates from power users would be useful? I was also thinking about having like small success celebrations, like, you create your first GLQL view, ta-da. Yeah. Any questions?
Um, so the last one, that success one, maybe it's like if you created 10 views, you get an achievement on your little GitLab profile. There's a lot of random achievements you get. Like if you do a code review within 30 minutes, you get like fast response achievement. Like I got that. I was like, what? That's random. But yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's a good idea.
What's the what do you mean by the right trigger for suggesting GLQL videos in your question here?
Yeah. Right now, I'm trying to think about other ways to, show that GLQL exists. And the trigger that I mentioned here is like, when you're trying to filter something using um, the tokenized search, for example, would that be a good place to say, hey, we also have this, you can try to use GLQL views to do this. That's what I mean.
Two UI areas that I think sort of spring to mind are some features that users who I guess already know of them go looking to collect data. So I'm thinking, for example, creating an issue board is a common way of presenting issues and their sort of various criteria. Um, But I guess one problem to some degree in creating an issue board and then sharing that issue board is that it's an interactive piece. So if someone could, for example, accidentally drag a card from one list, I think they're called on issue boards, to another, accidentally. And of course, there's the 9 or 90 other people who are looking at that issue board may not know about that. So you've you created the issue board simply to present the information to people. So in other words, you intended to be a read-only view, but it's actually read-write. Um, so which has some difficulty with it. So I'm thinking that could be a good spot. And the other is maybe those areas where, for example, again, if people are looking at a list of issues, or similar areas where people are filtering content. And they're thinking again, say if you're talking about an issue list, it might be okay. I want to filter um, you know, just the issues, or one that I commonly do is, all the issues that perhaps, maybe assigned to me that I've not, that have a particular label attached to them, etc. But then to bookmark that result, it can be a bit awkward. So again, I'm thinking, areas where perhaps people are filtering, sorry, going to, this again, say the issue list is saying, okay, I just want to see a subset of that. That could be a good spot again to sort of say, you know, there's another way,
Mm,
to get this information. Um, but
yeah.
yeah, I'm not quite sure, how you would sort of present that. But again, that's what I'm thinking. So just to sort of say, look, the issue list, yeah, sure, filter it, etc. That's great, but there is another alternative because again, the issue list and the other filtering options or other areas in the UI where you can filter are great because it's dynamic. You're saying, okay, I'm just wanting to look at this and that, and yeah, that's not quite what I'm looking at, and you're searching for something. Whereas I think a GLQL view is useful where you already know exactly what information you want returned and presented, and you're presenting it. You're not looking to have people add to it or manipulate it. It's just intended to be a presentation method.
Yeah, makes sense. Thanks for sharing, Russell.
I also wanted to say, sorry, I'll run through some of these just because on some of them I've got thoughts, others not. Community templates, I think that'd be powerful. I think we've often seen instances. I know, for example, since we introduced GLQL, people in are running around in the Slack channel sharing, their GLQL queries, etc. And that's proven to be powerful. But of course, if you have to run off to the Slack channel to find them, that's not great. But yeah, it can
Yeah.
be, here's 10 that people have found useful, etc. Um,
Yeah.
so
We also
yeah,
I had this idea because I was seeing the GLQL Slack channel and I was noticing how many people are sharing the queries there. That was like, wow, this is interesting. I was even like copying and trying to reuse some of those to see how they look.
I think sharing has is powerful. Sorry, a powerful tool for adoption. So, for example, when we introduced CI/CD components, and we said, okay, community can contribute components. Suddenly, components were being created, from everywhere. Um, and I think, GLQL views could be something similar where you say, you go into the editor, create a view, and it says, okay, is this just for yourself, or do you want to, share it? And again, do you want to share it with, I guess, in our case, sort of be, do you want to share it with everyone in the GitLab instance, or I guess I don't know that there'd be any sort of thing else. Um, but yeah, I think it's great for adoption because you'll typically have feature champions, people who look at it and think, oh my gosh, I can see, 99 ways in which we could use this. This could be so good, much more efficient if used here and here and here, and they'll jump on it straight away and use it, in all different ways, to improve their efficiency. And then you'll have other people who, again, saying perhaps a little slower for adoption or not quite understanding the what it can do for them, for them to be able to pop into a little library or whatever you want to call it and say, oh, yeah, that example resonates with me, and that's so much better than the method I'm using at the moment. Great, click it, save it, and done. They've got the GLQL view, doing exactly what they want. They've had very very little effort. Um, and if anyone else has an interest, they can say, "Oh, I grabbed it from the library." You know, go there and look for it. But again, also the person who created the template can continue maintaining it there. They're maintaining it in only one location. So, whereas again, in Slack, you share it once.
Oh, you're mute.
Sorry, Alex. Someone creates it, presents it in Slack. They share it. That's great. Someone copies it, but then the person who created it initially, meanwhile, has changed theirs, and the person who copied it has no idea that that it's been further improved. So.
Yeah, great things. Yeah, if anyone else have like feedback or ideas, hit me up. I will be really happy to hear. Thank you.